Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're dialing in from. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a viewer, a subscriber. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share if you find this content helpful. Today, you will be learning about the 7th commandment. This is the 7th commandment as presented in the book of the law. This is the book of the law that we're using in this discussion, and I will be giving you a bit of a background on where this commandment is given, to who and by who. This book of the law is not found in the current Bible as we know it. It is a book that is mentioned several times in the Bible, but it is not in the Bible. First of all, these commandments were given by the voice of the Most High in Mount Sinai to Moses and to all of Israel. Though Moses and the elders of Israel only went into the mountain, and Moses alone received the tablets of the law, all of Israel had the voice of the Most High when he gave them these commandments. Secondly, the commandments were written on 2 tables of stone or tablets of stone by the very finger of the Most High. Moses broke these tables, as we know, but after that, he prepared another set of 2 tables or tablets on which the Most High wrote the same words. And then the tables or the tablets were placed in the Ark of the Covenant, and that Ark was kept within the tabernacle, and the tabernacle was in the temple until the time of the Babylonian captivity. So what is this 7th commandment? This is the 7th commandment. All 119 words that you see on the screen. Let us now listen to this 7th commandment.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not in any wise lie with the wife of thy neighbor. And if she seduce thee, thou shalt resist her, that thou pollute not thyself, and make not the place of thy house unclean, and destroy not the house of thy neighbor, and that thou cause no violence in the land. Thou shalt not lie with the wife of the stranger, neither shalt thou lie with the wife of thine enemy, lest thy children be scattered abroad, and know not thee, nor the fear of thee be upon them, and they be strangers to the covenant of God, and the whole land be corrupt, and thine offspring be destroyed with the wicked.
So that is the 7th commandment. Let us talk about the word adultery. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, adultery is the voluntary sexual intercourse between a married person and someone other than that person's current spouse. This is slightly different from the word fornication. Fornication is used to describe 2 people who are not married who engage in consensual sexual intercourse. So with adultery, one of the people has to be a married person. And this is what this commandment is about. It's a command to those who are married not to engage in acts of intercourse as long as with somebody who is not their spouse. Here is the commandment: you shall not commit adultery. And then you have the rest of the 115 words, or 15 words or 14 words down here. So the word you is repeated 18 times, referring to you as a member of Isolele, or you as a believer, and yourself, your children, them, they, thine. It's about you. Clearly, the Most High was trying to address you as an individual and you as a nation of Isolele or Israel. That is why he repeated the word you or thee or thine or them, referring to your children, 18 times in this commandment. Let's talk about the word shalt or shalt not. If you've watched the 6th Commandment, we spent quite a lot of time explaining that the word shall or shalt is mandatory. It is an order. It is not up for discussion. It is not a debate. It is not a proposal. It is not a motion. It's an order of something that you shall do or not do. And it is repeated 5 times. So you must not commit adultery. You should not commit adultery. It's not a suggestion. That is what the Most High was telling the people of Israel, or Isolele. What about committing adultery? What is it? It's that you shall not lie or have sexual intercourse with the wife of your neighbor or the wife of the stranger, that is the foreigner, especially because they were going to go end up in the promised land. They were going to meet people there who were strangers to them, the Canaanites and other tribes. You shall also not lie, sleep with, have sexual intercourse with the wife of your enemy. These are the 3 scenarios that the Most High warns them about. And he repeats it 3 times here: the neighbor, the stranger, your enemy. What happens if you do this? Here in yellow, you're being told the do's and don'ts. If the wife of your neighbor seduces you, you shall resist her. These are the do's and the don'ts. You shall resist her so that you do not pollute yourself as an individual and make your place or your house unclean. Your house is your family. You, your spouse, your children, your extended family, your family's name, their reputation, their thoughts about you and what you've just done. This is why you should not sleep with the wife of your neighbor or the spouse of your neighbor, because you're gonna spoil or pollute the relationships that you have with your family members, both nuclear family as well as extended, and this will damage your reputation. Plus, we know sexual intercourse is a covenant, so you're letting in other spirits into your family environment. That is part of the pollution. It's spiritual pollution. You're also told that this will destroy the house of your neighbor, just like it's making your house unclean. And of course, this can cause violence in the land. Your neighbor may go after you, or you may go after your neighbor because of the act of adultery. So it's going to cause chaos and violence in the land. So you should not do it. Similarly, you're told not to lie with the wife of the stranger or the wife of your enemy. What happens if you do this? Then your children will be scattered abroad, because the wife of the stranger, who is a foreigner, will go back to her country or his country, and now the kids will be scattered not in the promised land, but scattered abroad outside the promised land. And those children will not know you as a parent, nor will they fear you. They will lack the guidance. So they will live without a sense of guidance from the parent who is not with them. They will even lack identity because they will not acknowledge or know who the parent is, and they will miss or lack that sense of identity about themselves that they would have gotten from the parents who is not with them. And as a result, those children will be strangers to this covenant with the Most High. this covenant that the Most High established between you, or Israel, and himself. These children who are outside of the land, not with their parents, the Most High is saying they will be strangers to the covenant because they will not know about it. You'll not be telling them about it. And then the whole land will be corrupt, and those children will be destroyed together with the wicked. This is why you should not commit adultery, because these are the consequences. Now let's take a look at what is in the Bible pertaining to this covenant. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5. Between verse 1 and verse 21, you will find the commandments. In verse 18, you will find these 5 words: neither shall you commit adultery. That's almost the equivalent of, here we have 5 words: thou shalt not commit adultery. We do not have the rest of the 114 words that are in this book of the law, in this 7th commandment. Only those 5 words are in the book of Deuteronomy. What about the book of Exodus? Same thing. Exodus chapter 20, between verse 1 and 17, you're going to find the commandments. And verse 14 is where you will find these words: thou shalt not commit adultery. The same words that we have in the book of the law. Again, we do not have the rest of the commandment. As to why we do not have it, I don't know, but your guess is as good as mine. But now, thank the Most High that we have this information and we have the full context of this 7th commandment. In conclusion, let us listen once more to this 7th commandment. One more time.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not in any wise lie with the wife of thy neighbor. And if she seduce thee, thou shalt resist her, that thou pollute not thyself, and make not the place of thy house unclean, and destroy not the house of thy neighbor, and that thou cause no violence in the land. Thou shalt not lie with the wife of the stranger, neither shalt thou lie with the wife of thine enemy, lest thy children be scattered abroad, and know not thee, nor the fear of thee be upon them, and they be strangers to the covenant of God, and the whole land be corrupt, and thine offspring be destroyed with the wicked.